Emeka and Nkechi were sitting outside their home in the bustling city of Owerri in Nigeria, laughing, gisting and fanning themselves due to the immense heat experienced from the very hot weather. They were deeply in love and dreamed of starting a family together. However, despite their fervent prayers and unwavering faith, they struggled with infertility for 14 long years. Throughout their journey, Emeka and Nkechi leaned on each other for support, finding solace in their shared faith and love. They never lost hope, believing that one day their prayers would be answered, and they would be blessed with a child of their own. One fateful morning, "Emeka, God has done it, ooh!" screamed Nkechi. "I am pregnant," she continued. They both danced their hearts as tears of joy flowed like the river Niger. It was not a rosy pregnancy journey, but they were steadfast in their faith. The baby was kicking. As Nkechi went into labor, Emeka stood outside the labor ward, pouring out his heart to God. With tears streaming down his face, he pleaded for grace and mercy, asking for the safe delivery of both his wife and their long-awaited child. Inside the labor room, Nkechi clung to hope, trusting in the promise of Jeremiah 29:11, which was the verse she had always asked God to fulfill in her life. She held on to Emeka's hand tightly, finding strength in his unwavering support. Nkechi's labor grew increasingly complicated, the medical team struggling to stabilize her condition. As the tension mounted, Emeka's prayers grew more desperate, his heart heavy with fear. As Emeka stepped outside the labor ward, pouring out his heart in prayer, a sudden sense of unease washed over him. Something felt off, a nagging feeling that whispered of impending danger. Nkechi gave up the ghost. As the doctor announced the time of death for both mother and child to the nurses, he prepared to deliver the devastating news to Emeka. A sudden commotion erupted outside the labor ward. Emeka's heart skipped a beat as he rushed to the door, his senses on high alert. To his astonishment, he found a stranger standing before him, a wild look in his eyes. Before Emeka could react, the stranger grabbed his arm, his voice urgent. "You must come with me," the stranger insisted, his tone urgent. "There's no time to explain, but your wife and child are in grave danger." Emeka's mind raced with disbelief as he followed the stranger through the labyrinthine corridors of the hospital. With each passing moment, the sense of urgency intensified, driving him forward despite the doubts that gnawed at his soul. Finally, they reached a secluded area of the hospital, where a group of shadowy figures awaited them. Emeka's heart pounded in his chest as he realized the gravity of the situation. "We have been watching you, Emeka," one of the figures spoke, his voice low and ominous. "You have been chosen for a purpose far greater than you can imagine. Your prayers have refused us to leave with your wife and child. We collect the souls of the dead in this hospital." A wave of despair washed over Emeka, his heart shattered into a million pieces as he watched his dreams crumble before his eyes. But even in the depths of his grief, Emeka found solace in his faith. He remembered the journey he and Nkechi had traveled together, the love they shared, and the countless blessings they had experienced along the way. Summoning all his courage, Emeka confronted the figures, refusing to succumb to their threats and manipulations. With each step he took, he drew strength from the promise of Jeremiah 29:11, knowing that no matter what trials lay ahead, he would emerge victorious. In a daring act of bravery, Emeka thwarted the organization's plans, rescuing Nkechi and their child from the clutches of death with words of faith, affirmation. Nkechi jerked back to life, and Chimamanda was born.